Good morning. My name is Lorrie. Welcome to my channel. We are Quilters. Honey and I are here for Blabfest Friday. She is going to be a helper dog today. I can just tell. Let me get that ball for her so she doesn't try to eat my arm. Where'd it go? Well, it's gone now. I don't know where it went. Oh my gosh. It went behind stuff. What are you going to do? Oh no. Please do not jump over the table. Topic number 1, block parade. Let me tell you about those blocks that are back there. There are 2 weather blocks for September and the Farmer's Daughter block from Study in Scarlet. I also have some updated blocks from Monday where I added the extra big fans on there. I really like how this one turned out with all the fans around the center block. Very cute. And we will have more Lazy Daisy blocks here coming up in the month of September. Hello. And last but not least, I'm pulling out an oldie but goodie, hexie blocks. I started the hexies years ago, and I need to add, I have a whole row of stars, and I need to add to them. So I'm pulling them out, and I am going to get to work on this so that it can be finished before I turn 100. Just saying. Topic number 2. I'm going to call this segment Found a Friend. I have been watching some other YouTube stations, and I happened across this one. YouTube presents new things to you all the time if you watch regularly, so you can subscribe or not. And this week, I found Quilt Squirrel, and she has come up with a new way to do stitch and flip flying geese. She calls it Stitch and Flip 2.0. Not that I want you to leave my channel and go watch someone else's, but you might want to check her video out. And she has some other interesting ideas also. A new friend. Topic number 3. To hoop or not to hoop? That is the question. I had a comment from, and she was interested in the not hooping to do the embellishments. And sometimes I hoop, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the project itself. For example, when I do these embroidery pieces, I use a hoop because I am using that product that you print on. Let's see if it's here. It's not here. It's right here. Hang on. I'm using this product that you run through the printer, and then instead of tracing, I do all my stitching and this washes away. And I've used that for 2 of those, and it has worked very well. My friend tells me you can buy that in the roll and still cut pieces that go through your printer. I have not tried that, and it's probably lots more cost effective. But I'm going to use up that package first. It has 12 pieces in it. So when I do that kind of embroidery, I do use a hoop. But when I'm doing these little blocks for, oh honey, you are such a helper. When I'm doing these little blocks, excuse you, back up, She wants to play. When I'm doing these little blocks, I don't use a hoop because I would have to use such a tiny hoop. She thinks she's getting a treat, and I don't have any treats here. That I have a hoop that's that small, but I would rather not use a hoop on something that's so small, because then I just get tangled in the hoop, and I have to move that little tiny hoop, and sometimes it still doesn't catch the whole thing. Excuse you, stop. It's time for her honey bunny recharge nap. And like all toddlers, she's fighting the nap. Right? No, pretend you don't hear me. You hear me with those big ears. I know you do. So that is and quilting is the same way. I have books that are lap quilting by Georgia Bonesteel that were probably written in the 70s or 80s, that she did quilting without a hoop also. Now, I haven't done a lot of hand quilting because I haven't found the perfect setup for me yet. I'm going to work on that this winter and maybe into this fall before we head back to West Virginia full time. Because I now have a Q frame, that little snap frame, and I also have some oval frames that I could do some quilting on. So I'm going to give that more of a try, even though I've traditionally done machine quilting, either on my domestic or on the long arm. But to frame or not to frame, what do you do? How do you do your hand work? Do you use a frame or not? Which is easiest for you? Let me hear your thoughts. Hello. Out of sight, out of mind. We are going back to those cubbies in my spare room. And let's take a look at another cubby to see what's in it and what needs sorted and put away in the right spot. Let's go to the video. Enjoy. So this is another one of those glittery bins. You can change from red to kind of a gray. I hope you're not too disappointed by this bin. I have a bag of fiberfill. I don't know where this bag came from. Have gas left. Leave tank. I have no idea where that bag came from. And this does not even belong in here. Let me move the bin. Well, let me add to the bin. Remember back in D4 when we had all those squares? Well, there's a piece of batting stuck in there. So now it is with the other fluffy stuff. And I know I have pieces of batting somewhere. I'll be right back. Look here. I have a shoebox full of batting scraps. Well, I am going to take those batting scraps out and put them right there. And I won't need that shoebox for batting scraps. Now let's take a look at what's in this bag that's in there that isn't going back in there. I didn't even know I had this here. Okay, that looks like paint on it, but the rest of it is white fabric and muslin and unbleached muslin, a nice white on white print, and it looks like several yards. Can't really tell because it looks Joanne fabric, but it looks like about 3 yards of white on white. And then there's another print of white on white, a piece of unbleached muslin, another piece of unbleached muslin. Well, these need to stay out in the backing fabrics. I didn't even realize I had that bag of good stuff in there. So I keep discovering all kinds of things that are in the wrong places. Time to go put this away and be done for today. Hope you enjoyed. And look what I found. foam stabilizer for making bins and those kind of things. It is going in there with the batting scraps. I can bend this and it will stay and be wonderful. I'm looking at this light. Number 5, treasures. This week, I know everybody's just waiting to have their yard sale over Labor Day weekend, and we figure this will be our last big weekend to yard sale. Will you please stop? Thank you. So this weekend, we didn't find a lot. We yard saled with friends, and we found a few things. I found another stackable cubby with 4 holes. I found a travel box that I'm going to make into a travel sewing kit. And Dan found this little shelf that he can add some new and fresh embroidery to. All cute things, but not a whole lot of things. Are you falling down? There you go. Really? You shall see. Topic number 6. Thoughts and challenges. And we're talking thoughts and challenges other than a puppy. I have been watching other YouTube videos about organizing, and I know that organizing is never done. Do you feel like you're organizing all the time? I know when I brought those cubbies home, I had to reorganize, and I've moved these drawers out here into the sewing space, and I put the other little tray organizers back in the extra storage, if you want to call it that. Please get down. Children. So organizing is never done. And here is my other thought for you. It is from a cookie, but it's pretty good advice. Literary Corner. Here is the last installment of that wonderful magazine. Enjoy. We are back finishing up the Quilt Almanac for 2000. I wish quilting magazines today were as packed with good, easy projects that were traditional blocks. So let's start with a sampling of log cabin designs. Like I said we would. There are 12 different log cabin blocks here. 12. I never thought about this. And then they did them all red, white, and blue, put them in a sampler with a red and blue sashings. Beautiful. So we have straight furrows, courthouse steps, off center, 4 hearts log cabin. Those look like flowers to me, but log cabin knot setting, chimney and cornerstones. I like this one. Log cabin tulips, spiral log cabin. That one is very interesting looking on the picture. Pineapple log cabin, stars in the log cabin, flying geese log cabin, and the chevron log cabin. And they are in order like they are in the picture. The patterns are on like 4 pages in the back for that. Diana, this one might be right up your alley. These ones are preserving family history through album quilts, a belt buckle, and this one is just a signature block, album block with nice big white space. Very interesting. And there it shows how to assemble the little pieces. Native American quilting traditions. Beautiful quilts. Love that. Nice star. Star with circles. Oh, this is a basketball star quilt. That's what this one is called. This one doesn't have a name. And this one has a pillow fold over. Only squares and triangles. That is so funny. Because they're both only squares and triangles. Aren't most quilts squares? Quilt blocks only squares and triangles. Just saying. And then there's the honeycomb. I told you that was back here. So it shows it as leaves, shows it as a true honeycomb, shows it in tessellating leaves as this part. And then the shooting star, and also as a signature block. This also has a lot of border treatments, like diagonal piece with setting squares for sashings and blocks, and then row by rows, which goes right along with setting. And there's some more examples of rows. Stars in a log cabin. So this one, it's not one block, it's stars and the log cabins, which are pieced like courthouse steps. Sewing secrets. There's another sashing, putting stars in the sashings, and they tell you how to make the pieces by doing sew and flips. There's the honeycomb and stars, Texas stars, that I said was back here. I love this article. It's about a quilt that was made in 1936, completed in 1936. She started it in 1930, and her daughter got married, and she gave it to her daughter when her daughter got married years later after 1936, and it spent 49 years, almost 50 years, at her daughter's house in Colorado, and she sent it back to visit her mother in 1998 when her mother was 90. So, since this book was written into, this magazine was done in 2000. Oh, that is a family heirloom with those little postage stamps. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The Rambler quilt is what it was called. Shopping section. And then this part, we had some discussion about older magazines and their templates. Well, this magazine has all templates, but there are all the patterns. The only unfortunate thing is they don't tell you what page this pattern came from. So I'm going to go through, and I love that flat iron pattern. I might as well just show you the pattern because you're not going to be able to measure the templates for the flat iron pattern. What an interesting creation. That would be better done with templates, I think. But anyway, they give you all the patterns in the back, not in a pullout, but in the back as part of the magazine. Very interesting. I love these kind of vintage patterns. And, well, part of it is they don't show you color. So you're not influenced by the color of the pictures. Grayscale is fine for this kind of thing. I mean, there's a nice color picture back in there or on the front of that one. So sometimes it's good to have the color pictures. Sometimes it influences the color that you choose. I like it when it's grayscale so I can pick and choose. I like it even better when they include a coloring book page that I can color in as I go. Anyway, that is the end of this magazine for me to share. I will see you back in September with a book. Hope you enjoyed. Topic number 8, everyone's favorite. Yay! Viewer contributions. This week I have several things that people have contributed. Let me just voice over as I show them to you on the full screen so you can enjoy them like I do. First up, we have some beautiful project bags made by Julie. These are made with soft fabrics. I love the way the zippers go on these project bags and that nice vinyl front so you can see your project. And this pattern from Erica Arndt included a smaller bag. Here we have log cabin blocks made by Marion. I love how she threw in that little four-patch. Let's take another look at those log cabin blocks for Study in Scarlet. And here we have the log cabin block made by Diana. I love the little bluebird on the logs. Thank you everybody who contributed this week. Beautiful work. I love it when you all share your inspirations. Makes me want to go spend more and more time in the sewing room. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday with some more Upskill Monday, some fancier Lazy Daisy stitches. Have a good weekend. Thanks for watching.